At the official halfway point of Global Champions League Round 1, we find three teams all fighting it out on double clear. Madrid Emotions, Saint-Tropez Pirates, a surprise, and the 2024 champions, the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames. They have now opened up somewhat of a wonderful cushion for themselves because the Prague Lions are slightly behind them on 4, New York Empire with a time penalty on 5, and then a far bigger group of really big teams with very strong riders having very high penalty counts. So all of a sudden, is this an opportunity for Madrid Emotions, Saint-Tropez Pirates or the Cannes Stars to really strike and take a chunk out of that Shanghai Swans lead that we find, to take a bite into the Falcons Art United lead that we find towards the top of the table? It's going to be a very intriguing second round. Speaking of the virtual leaders, that belongs to Madrid Emotion, as mentioned. Let's hear from Eduardo Alvarez Aznad on their team's performance.
Edu, what a time for Madrid Emotion to get a double clear. Just talk us through the round from you and Michael.
Well, Michael had a fantastic round, beautiful to watch and in a quick time. For the moment he's in the lead, so that's very good for him. My horse jumped actually very good. I was a bit lucky at the end. I had few wraps, but also jumped quite consistent. So very happy to have a clear round to start in the first round, and now we have to keep fighting.
Legend seemed to give you absolutely everything out there as you were sort of balancing him really well around the tight corner from 5 to 6. How is he coming on as a horse?
Well, it's a horse with a lot of temperament. He's a horse that has a lot of experience. But okay, now he's my main horse, so he needs to perform as a top horse. I think he's doing it very good this year. So I think I just need to keep going the same, and the results will come.
Two very experienced horses jumped for you in round 2. What changes are there for Madrid Emotion as you try and get that top spot here?
Well, I don't know yet what's the team for the second round, but we're going to discuss it right now with Eric and Michael and Kim, so we will decide who is riding now.
You've got a mighty team here. Good luck for the second round.
Thank you very much.
A little bit of an emotional moment there for show jumping lovers, hearing Eduardo Alvarez Aznad now refer to Legend as his top horse. I took a moment to think about that, only to remember and to realize of the wonderful retirement that took place for Rockefeller back in Madrid in the previous stage. That is going to take some time and getting used to. Eduardo Alvarez Aznad no longer jumping with the incredible Rockefeller, but now referring to Legend as his top horse. A clear from Michael van der Vleuten, a clear from Aznad puts Madrid Emotion in the leading position going into GCL round 2. But just behind them, the 2024 champions, the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames. They were very next to go out the gate, by the way. Madrid Emotion 13th, Cannes Stars 14th to go. Sophie Hinnes and Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann following suit, jumping double clear themselves and landing behind Madrid Emotion only on time. We caught up with Sophie Hinnes to get some thoughts from the Cannes Stars.
Sophie, an explosive round from you, an exceptional clear and double clear for Cannes Stars. Just sum it up for us here.
Yeah, we are more than happy to deliver 2 clear rounds in the first round in front of our home crowd. It's a very good feeling, but now we have to keep it up and have to fight for the next round.
How difficult is it, nerves-wise, having gone clear to then sit and watch as you did when Jana went?
Yeah, it's always for sure more nervous when you ride yourself. But I have a big trust in Jana, so it was not that I was like, oh, it was really enjoyable to watch.
The class started in real warm temperatures and lovely sunshine. You jumped in wet weather and the temperature really dropped. Does that help the horses, the temperature dropping?
I think it's nice when it's not too hot. I mean, I think we are very lucky with the weather here. Compared to last year, it was super warm. Now I think it's actually nice. It's a little bit of rain. I think you cannot call it really rain. It's a little bit wet, but if it stays like this, everything is super.
Plans for the second round? Any changes?
I will change the horse. I will ride Iron Dames My Prince. Jana keeps or sticks to Messi, I think. So I hope that this is a good plan.
Good luck, well ridden.
Thank you.
A big smile on the face of Sophie Hinners, and justifiable after that wonderful double clear. All of a sudden, Iron Dame Sinclair and Messi van het Rootershof doing the job. What are the changes then going to be in that second round? A few suggestions there, possibly. We'll keep you updated with those movements, with those changes, as the rest of the evening unfolds. Let's show you then what the rankings look like now, because we need to remind you that the Saint-Tropez Pirates were also jumping double clear. In fact, it was a wonderful, wonderful performance from the Saint-Tropez Pirates to go on and put themselves into second place. I beg your pardon. There we see it. Canstars, powered by the Iron Dames, Saint-Tropez Pirates, putting themselves in that position, putting themselves in a very strong performance for that second round. Prague Lions on 4, New York Empire on 5, Razorback International powered by Horse Jim. The comments of Christian Kukuk was that in fact you jump a double clear in round 2 and 8 may well get you onto the podium. Perhaps that would have been more realistic without the 3 teams on double clear. Now all of a sudden things starting to change and look a little bit different, if that is going to indeed be a reality. Rome Gladiators on 12 alongside the Stockholm Hearts and the Shanghai Swans. Big surprises there. And the Monaco Comets, the Iron Dames sister team, I'm afraid, going all the way down to 15th place thanks to 20 penalties combined. Let's not forget the Doha Falcons being eliminated after Julien Akata and Ice Cube Z unable to get over a fence after 2 attempts. That is a wonderful look at the location as to where we find ourselves here in the city of Cannes for stage 5 of the Global Champions League. We invited Dan Strange into the studio with us to have a conversation, to have a chat. With all due respect, the big surprise of this is the fact that Saint-Tropez Pirates are punching well above their weights, getting stuck in with those double clears. You wouldn't have put money on them being the team to join Madrid Emotion and or Canstars on double clear, Dan?
Would you, wouldn't you? This is a really interesting one. If you look at the start of the season, they were there or thereabouts at this stage and just tailed off in the second round, and then they get the podium in Madrid. Max Watchman coming in on debut, huge clear from him. Mariano has gone clear before, so it is a bit of a surprise, and there are other surprises in terms of who's got Fault Shanghai and Riesenbeck as well. Saint-Tropez have been jumping well this season, but a little bit of a surprise, yeah, I think it's fair.
I think the fact that they are then going to be in that conversation, and again, you talk about Mac Watchman, still such a young man to be jumping like that at this stage on a track that has given the likes of Ben Mayer and Christian Ullmann difficult times, gives you perspective on how good a round that is from Max Watchman, how good a clear that is from Mariano Bastida as well. Let's talk about the Shanghai Swans. Yeah, we have a championship leading team. We joked earlier on at the season, the fact that Max Kuna has this luxury of throwing darts at a dartboard to decide whether it's going to be Daniel Deusser this week or Ben Mayer next week or Christian Ullmann or himself the following. Nobody was expecting to see the fences fall. I wonder if this may be the performance that sees a bit of a shake-up in the overall rankings come the end of the night.
It's not a bad dartboard to have with those riders on it, is it? Yeah.
If you want to be one manager this year, it's Max Kuna.
Ping. Bullseye. Yeah, no, I agree. And if Shanghai don't perform well in this second round and don't keep themselves up there, hoping then, of course, Canstars have a couple down and get themselves in the mix, as you say, everything will change at the top of the standings. The thing is, Canstars have gone through a dip. Shanghai Swans at some point this season will go through a dip. You're not just going to come first and second every week like they've done in the last.
And because of how handsome their lead is, they almost are afforded the opportunity to, dare I call it a slip-up, but to have a bit of a slip-up, because you know that the gap that you've been building on has become quite extensive, that you are allowing yourself that window of failure and still then come back to Saint-Tropez next week and feel as if you are still in control of this title fight.
You wonder what their team WhatsApp group must be like. You know, if you've had 2 fences down, Ben Mayer, you know,
yeah,
one of the top 3 riders in the world, and you're like, oh, Ben had 8 faults. That shows the level they're at, though, and that shows, you said about Saint-Tropez punching above their weight. That's the heavy hitters Shanghai Swans are, and why 12 faults to them is a massive letdown of a round, essentially.
You had a conversation with the Stockholm Hearts earlier on this afternoon. They're in serious threat of flirting in a bottom of the table scrap that they don't want to be in. New rules and regulations for 2025. The team that places in the last position, bottom of the table, will not go to the highly sought after GC Prague playoffs at the end of the season. That is a massive blow financially for the team, and it is a massive blow emotionally for the team as well. Marlon and Inigo spoke to you earlier on. They admitted to some difficult times. They said that this was going to be the stage that needed to turn things around. They too have fences down, even a double clear in round 2. I mean, how much ground can be made up here by the Stockholm Hearts, who again seem to have some difficulties in the GCL this year?
I keep wanting to call it a relegation battle, but of course no one gets relegated, so we're going to need to come up with a name for that. But Marlin was happy with how Indiana jumped. Indiana gets quite excitable sort of in and out of the ring and into warm-up, which is smaller here, but very pleased. I mean, Indiana's 17, had a bit of time off, and she was pleased with how that went. I think the point Stockholm made, or point Marlin made, was they're still in it, or at that point they were still in it. When they jumped, you know, we'd just seen Shanghai Swans have 12 faults, so they were still in the mix at that point. The late 3 double clears changes the context of the round. And for Stockholm, I think, well, Marlin said, can we defend it? We will go to. I don't think now they'll be thinking that's possible.
The irony is with the Doha Falcons elimination, the 3 back-to-back clears have all come in consecutive fashion. Let's show you what the virtual rankings look like then. We'd like to play this game, the what-if game. If you were to stop proceedings right now, what if we were not to have a second round? What if things were to end as they are right now? That means that the virtual rankings would look as follows. All of a sudden, the Shanghai Swans lead gets cut down to 2 points. But as Dan pointed out, still very early on in the season, they've done well to build themselves a buffer. But the Can Stars would make up a massive, massive jump. The Saint-Tropez Pirates jump into the 80s with their 25. And Falcons Watch United, surprisingly, Dan, would still hold on to 3rd place.
Yeah, Saint-Tropez being in 5th is, as we say, that shows if they had had a bit more luck in the start of the season, where could they have been? But, you know, the gap's closing at the top to 20 points between 1st and 4th.
And all of a sudden, take a look at that. The fight between Paris Panthers and the Stockholm Hearts goes down to 13 points, I'm afraid, or at least extends up to 13 from the Stockholm Hearts perspective. But that is not a conversation that Stockholm want to be in, regardless of how much buffer they have over Paris. That is not a fight they want to be in.
Doha getting eliminated gives hope
them.
to Stockholm, it gives hope to Paris, because it just gives them that bit extra on the scoreboard, and it's going to be crucial. Stockholm really are the ones that benefit a lot from Doha losing out today.
To give you perspective as to how and why that Doha Falcons elimination is so hurtful, if a team gets eliminated in the 2nd round of Global Champions League, you finish in last place, but you take home the smallest amount of points that are allocated to the last place team. If you are unable to complete the GCL, in other words, if you get eliminated in round 1, as if the Doha Falcons have now done, you are not awarded the minimum amount of points, you are awarded 0, seen somewhat as a penalty of not being able to complete the competition. A round 1 elimination, as Dan points out, serves the Stockholm Hearts well, it serves the Paris Panthers well, because it means that they are guaranteed to finish above at least one team. That is the Doha Falcons. Julien Akatin, unfortunately, with a refusal twice over, meaning that they will play no part in that 2nd round. What did you find interesting? You chatted to a lot of riders before we wrapping it ready for GCL round 2. Some commonalities, some recurring thoughts. What came out of GCL round 1?
Guido Grimaldi for Paris Panthers early on was absolutely delighted. Hassan Senturk, I've not heard so many people congratulate someone on a clear round for a while. FA called him an absolute star. He said, go and talk to my new star.
Yeah.
That was interesting. And those two, obviously, Hassan we haven't seen since Saint-Tropez. Guido jumped in Shanghai and jumped well there. But, you know, not a rider we don't see masses. And he almost called himself a part-timer because he has he's a director of a company. There was a lot going on. It was quite unsettled, actually, as the weather was settled in the early stages, and that was something that was very much behind the scenes noticeable. You know, teams are coming out scratching their heads. Marco Kutscher coming out. I said, Marco, what did you think of your round? He had 8 faults, of course, after Christian Cook had gone clear for Riesenbeck, who are having an unsettled season. And he just said, well, these things happen. You sometimes knock it. I'm right. The word was, I ride a horse.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, yeah, that's fair. You know, and so it was quite unsettled in the early stages.
All right, well, as it stands now, Madrid in Motion, Saint-Tropez Pirates and the Can Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, all find themselves on double clear. They will be the 3 last teams to go in that upcoming 2nd round. We take a break. When we return, the build-up for GCL round 2. And by the end of the night, we'll be able to crown new champions of the Can stage in 2025. Stay with us. GCL round 2 is next.
A journey like no other begins. The world's most spectacular show jumping tour is back. Bigger, bolder, unforgettable. 16 breathtaking destinations. The world's finest riders. The most powerful horses. 17 teams, each driven by talent and ambition. Precision, power, and passion. Every jump, every second, every heartbeat counts. From the heart of Paris to the skyline of New York. From Shanghai's electric energy to the golden glow of Saint-Tropez. Each stop, a new stage. Each stage, 2 championships. Each moment, a story waiting to unfold. This is more than a sport. This is artistry in motion. A testament to courage, grace, and unrelenting passion. Where centuries of tradition meet the future of the sport. Every stride, calculated. Every moment, critical. Every leap, defining. It's more than a competition. It's an electrifying spectacle for all ages. A celebration of prestige, performance, and possibility. History will be written. Legends will be made. This is your chance to step inside, to feel the adrenaline, to witness greatness, follow the journey, and be part of history. Join the Longines Global Champions Tour 2025 season from February 27th to November 23rd. Cannes, where the glamour of the French Riviera meets the thrill of world-class show jumping. A city of style, icons, and timeless elegance. But as the sun sets, the stakes rise. Under the floodlights, the arena ignites.
With the championship leader away, can Edwina Tops-Alexander take it back?
Experience the Longines Global Champions Tour of Cannes from June 5th to the 7th. As the most spectacular show jumping tour continues its journey through the French Riviera, Saint-Tropez sets the stage for the next chapter. Bathed in golden light, this coastal haven glows with charm. But behind the beauty lies fierce ambition. In an arena where the action feels closer, every second counts. Join the Longines Global Champions Tour of Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez from June 12th to the 14th.
Hi, my name is Olivier Philibert. Welcome to Global Champions League, where world's top riders unite in a team to compete against each other. The 2025 Global Champions League season goes all around the world, 15 destinations with 17 teams competing against each other for the win. Each team consists of 6 riders that are handpicked by the team manager, but every team needs to have at least one under 25. In the mid-season transfer window, the team manager can swap the riders to strengthen up their team for the second half of the season to gather extra points. In every stage, 3 riders travel. On the end, there are 2 riders who are competing, but in between rounds, the team manager can swap riders. Every second and penalty counts. Results from both riders are counted together. Whenever the teams are tied, the time from the second round counts. Every competition, the winner earns 30 championship points. Every point counts. After a long season, lots of competitions and strategy, the teams with most points will win the Global Champions League 2025. The top 4 teams are pre-qualified for the GCL Super Cup semi-finals, and the 17 team are not qualified. Join us for the ultimate team battle on GCTV.
A journey like no other begins. The world's most spectacular show jumping tour is back. Bigger, bolder, unforgettable. 16 breathtaking destinations. The world's finest riders. The most powerful horses. 17 teams, each driven by talent and ambition. Precision, power, and passion. Every jump, every second, every heartbeat counts. From the heart of Paris to the skyline of New York. From Shanghai's electric energy to the golden globe of Saint-Tropez. Each stop, a new stage. Each stage, 2 championships. Each moment, a story waiting to unfold. This is more than a sport. This is artistry in motion. A testament to courage, grace, and unrelenting passion. Where centuries of tradition meet the future of the sport. Every stride, calculated. Every moment, critical. Every leap, defining. It's more than a competition. It's an electrifying spectacle for all ages. A celebration of prestige, performance, and possibility. History will be written. Legends will be made. This is your chance to step inside, to feel the adrenaline, to witness greatness. Follow the journey and be part of history. Join the Longines Global Champions Tour 2025 season from February 27th to November 23rd. Cannes, where the glamour of the French Riviera meets the thrill of world-class show jumping. A city of style, icons, and timeless elegance. But as the sun sets, the stakes rise. Under the floodlights, the arena ignites.
With the championship leader away, can Edwina Tops-Alexander take it back?
Experience the Longines Global Champions Tour of Cannes from June 5th to the 7th.